Back on Daily News Live with the Daily Line. We welcome in SportsInfo.com lead handicapper Al DeMarco with his selections for this weekend's NFL games. The best weekend in the NFL season. I mean, you could certainly make that case, Al. Let's start things off with the Giants and the Eagles. Perhaps you've heard something about it.
Yeah, a little bit on this game. I mean, the Eagles come in hot. I grant them that. 5-1 straight up and against the spread their last 6 games, outscoring their opposition by 99 points in that spread. And Andy Reid has been a great play in division play. 23-11 against the spread. And the Eagles have covered 5 of their last 6 on the road. And here's an interesting one. The underdog has won 6 straight in this series, but I don't care. I'm going with the Giants, and the key reason is Brandon Jacobs. First game when they won at Philly, 45 carries for the Giants, ground game, 219 yards, time of possession, 42 minutes. Hey, he got hurt in the first half in the rematch. That's why they lost. I'm going with the Giants. Let's keep in mind, they've won 16 of their last 20. They've covered 20 of their last 24. I would buy down, though, from 4.5 to 4 by the insurance.
I was going to ask you about that. All right, let's move on to the AFC. Tennessee and Baltimore. Tennessee giving 3 points to the Ravens. This could be a doozy. I want to ask you about the game. Then I'm going to ask you about the over-under on this one as well.
Well, I'll tell you what. I had Baltimore as my best bet last weekend, but, you know, playing Miami, playing Tennessee, 2 different things, and I'm going to go with Tennessee in this one. They won at Baltimore 13-10 in week number 5. Difficult spot for the Ravens. 2nd straight road game, short week of preparation. I don't think that defense is going to get to Kerry Collins. He was only sacked 8 times in 15 starts. Plus, Titans got Hainsworth and Vanden Bosch back. You know, 11-4-1 against the spread this year. And I go back to their second to last game in the regular season. 31-14 crushing of the Steelers, who had won 5 straight. That's why I'm going with Tennessee. Same thing here. Buy down the insurance from 3 to 2.5 in this one.
What's the over right now at?
Around 38 points, and I think the trend is going toward the under. This is going to be a low-scoring game.
All right, I would agree with that. Pittsburgh, San Diego. Pittsburgh giving 6 points.
And this is going to be my best bet. I love the Steelers in this one. Forget about that Week 10 debacle where they only won 11-10 and the last-minute touchdown was called back, costing them the cover. You look at the box score, they outgained San Diego in that game, 410 to 213, 13-minute edge in time of possession. Red zone, they struggled there. They had 13 penalties, 115 yards. You know, Chargers have only beaten 1 playoff team this entire season. That was the Colts last year. They're 3-5 straight up on the road. Darren Sproles, big game against the Colts, but we could have had a big game running against the Colts. Now he's playing the #1 defense. And the first matchup between these two, Philip Rivers had his worst game of the season, 164 yards and 2 interceptions. West Coast teams 3-17 straight up on East Coast this year. Love the Steelers.
All right, so there you go. Giants, Titans, and Steelers. And by the way, there's no way I could have had a big game against the Colts on the ground. But I have to ask you a question. Where's the Carolina game, Al? What's the deal? Only 4 games. You got to pick all of them.
Not a big fan. I would lean toward Carolina. I think the way to play that game, you either take the over at 48.5, or I would suggest playing it in a teaser, making Carolina -4 along with Pittsburgh at even at home. That's the way I would play that game.
Al DeMarco, enjoy the weekend. We appreciate all the information. We'll see how it. We'll see if we have any extra money at the end of the weekend. Pedro says he owes the Mets something.